Mirko Bortolotti, debut victory in DTM. Congrats, Mirko. Second place, Lukas Auer, and third place, Thomas Preining. And yeah, I have to say, we also saw a little piece of DTM history in today's race. So Mirko didn't only write his personal history by winning his first DTM race, it's also the seventh different winner in as many races in DTM, and we haven't had that in the past 39 years, so much variety at the front. But now, Mirko, up to you. How does it feel to, we can say finally win your first DTM race?
Yeah, I think you said it. I mean, finally, because I think we had several opportunities in the past to take a win, but there was always something else happening, a pit stop or a technical issue or maybe a mistake of mine. So yeah, so finally it feels good to be taking the win and yeah, taking the first victory in DTM as well. So it's an amazing feeling. I think it was a perfect day for us today with the pole position and lights to flag win. So, but it was quite a tough race out there because the weather was changing all the time. We had the rain coming and stuff, so I was never really sure what will happen next, and also making the right calls with the tires, because we are at the Nürburgring in the end of the day, so it can always be more rain, it can stop raining, can be sunny after 30 seconds, so it can be snowing, whatever. So yeah, I think it was, we made the right calls in the end, we took the right tires, and yeah, it just feels amazing to be here and celebrating the first win.
Halfway through the race, the weather was a little bit undecided with a bit of rain. So how was the communication with your engineers? Did you discuss changing to rain tires or stay on slicks?
Yeah, I saw a big cloud before the race, and I went to one of our weather guys, and I said, "Are you sure it's gonna stay?" Yeah, 100% sure. And after 15 minutes, it started raining, so I was like, okay, what's coming next? And they said, you know, it's just a small shower, but then it started to really rain heavy, and I said, like, okay, maybe we should change the app or your program or something, because this is not working. But yeah, at the end of the day, they were right. It was just a small shower, quite an intense one. But I think in the phase where it started, where it was really heavy wet, we were in the focus yellow, so that really saved most of the grid, because I think if we would have been green there, 99% of the drivers on slicks, there would have been a big chance for huge crashes. So I think we were lucky that there was a focus yellow out, and after that it actually dried up quite quickly, and the slicks started to work really quickly.
But then in the last 50 minutes of the race, or last 10 minutes of the race, you got company in front. So Lukas was rapidly increasing and catching you. So how difficult was it in the final part?
Yeah, I saw him closing the gap quite quickly. He was really, really quick. Yeah, probably the pace was similar. It was just a few tenths faster, I would say, in that phase. So he managed to close the gap until, I don't know, 1.5 seconds. And then it's also, I think, difficult to follow when you're really close. But he never got in a position and never made a mistake. So I knew if I don't really make a big mistake, it would be difficult for Luki to get a chance. So at the end of the day, I managed to bring it home. But for sure, the pace from him was quite impressive there.
Yeah, and as we see, it's mandatory today to live in Austria to end up on the DTM podium today. So traditionally you had a very strong performance on the Nürburgring in DTM, and also in the previous years in GT Masters, where you claim win and pole positions here. So is it kind of your favorite track, or what is a little bit secret to be fast here?
After last year, it was not my favorite track anymore. But yeah, I always enjoy coming back to the Nürburgring. It's for sure one of the coolest tracks on the calendar. But I really like them all at the end. So it's yeah, as you said, it's been a good track for us in the past, and it's been a great track for us today. So yeah, I think my passion for the Nürburgring gets a little bit better now again.
Okay, yeah, then it was today a little bit reward for last year. So coming to P2, Luki, congrats, first podium of the 2023 season for you. Yeah, and then suddenly there was Lukiawa on second place. So that was a bold move which you made on Thomas after the restart.
Yeah, in general, my starts already, the first start was good. I have to say also the team did an amazing pit stop again and strategy. And the last restart really worked out for me. I had a double slipstream, which helped. And then I was on the outside and I said to myself, today I will go for it. And no, it was a good fight and it worked out for me and really happy.
Yeah, the performance of the car was great, but there was a little bit that second missing at the end.
Yeah, I thought, I mean, from the back, I thought Nico had everything good under control, but I thought, you know, maybe if he makes a mistake, at least I'm there. But I think he had everything under control, but especially in the first stint, I couldn't follow the base with the top three, to be honest. The positive point today was the starts, restarts, pit stops, where we really made up places. And I think it's a super result for us, and probably the max we could have done today.
So also considering the last races, you had a steady improvement over the weekend and also here. So what did you learn in particular?
I mean, for us, we have to be honest, after my accident, I always said the season will come towards us. We had 2 test days before Oschersleben. We had to learn the new Pirelli tire, or the Pirelli tire in general. So we made improvements step by step, and I think you saw in Oschersleben was the best result, P10, Zandvoort P6, Nürburgring P4, and now we are on the podium, and no, it's just great to work with this team, with them, you know, even if you are not there straight away, you can be sure we will find our way, and sooner or later we will be there.
And how was it during the rain period with your engineer? So what kind of weather app do you use?
For me, it was difficult. At one stage, I got asked, what do I think with which tire? And I said, I don't know. I really don't know. It's raining, but I have quite good grip. And at the end, it was clear. I think most of the people were pitting already before me, and everybody stayed on slicks. And we also expected just a short shower. And it's quite impressive here how quickly it dries out. So under full course yellow, it was actually quite safe that we were under full course yellow. But then I saw that the restart probably is quite slippery, but was already fully dry again. And so I think we had everything under control, more or less.
Okay, thank you, Lukas Auer. Thomas, P3 today, but I guess after Lukas overtake you at the restart, you can't be so happy with the P3 today.
Honestly, P3 is like a win. I'm really happy. We knew it's going to be a difficult race. Obviously, also carrying 28 kilos extra, and also the BOP change after quali was not in our favor. So we didn't expect to win by half a lap. You know, it was always going to be a hard fight. Of course, I would have preferred to finish P2, but honestly, my expectation was worse than where we are now. So I'm fully happy with how it went. It's a good points haul again, and this is the most important thing.
How was it for you during the rain period? So Manthey is one of the most experienced teams here, so you must have the best information about the rain shower.
Well, you would think that. Yeah, for sure the team had the right information because we stayed on slicks, but my radar was a bit off, I think, because I was really wanting to go for wets because I thought it's a full disaster when we went on slicks, because 2 minutes later it really started pouring. Cats and dogs, honestly, it was really bad. But then suddenly, next lap, I came to turn 5 and it was completely dry. So that's the Nürburgring. That's how it is.
Okay, and yeah, you had a very hard stint because you had Ricardo Feller all the time, or in the closing stages in your back. So how hard was it to keep him behind you?
Very. He was a lot quicker than me, so it was very difficult to manage in that part of the race where he really was close. I think I was just always every lap a little bit quicker in the last chicane, and I managed to make no mistakes there all race, which is then what kept him at least a few tenths behind. So he could not really attack into turn 1, which is the main overtaking place. So this was for me crucial today. And yeah, all in all, a good day at the office.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. Are there any questions here from the floor? Sven, magst du gerade vorkommen?
Yeah, congratulations to you guys. Question for Thomas: How did you experience this restart? Because you were the follower of Mirko all the time, and then there was suddenly another Lamborghini car ahead of you.
Yeah, I didn't see a replay yet or anything, but from inside the car, obviously, it didn't feel so great for me. He was on wet tires, so you can always say he has less grip and whatever, but in the end, he just cost me a lot of time and a lot of speed in the run-up to turn 1, because he was also going quite slow on the straight, and I couldn't accelerate, because you're not allowed to overtake until a certain point. So I had to kind of back off again, and then they were all over me on the straight, and I just couldn't hold on to P2 like this. Luckily, at least I managed to keep Ricciardo behind, but Luki managed to use this to his advantage and overtake me. And Ricciardo, I think you were P4, no?
Yeah, and question for Mirko: Did you ever think about rain tires in this race? How was it for you?
I kept asking what the weather situation is. For me, that was a crucial part. I was always saying I try to survive as much as I can, and because I knew if it stops raining, it can change really quickly, and then you're without any chance if you're on wets. As we could see, Frank gambled on the wets, and only I think the first 3 corners or 4 corners of the track where he really had an advantage, and then he was just struggling because he was on the wrong tire. So for me, it was clear that if there is a chance that the rain stops, no, I didn't want to put wets until the last moment.
Question for all 3 of you guys concerning this new regulation in terms of moving under braking and overtaking. Maybe you just can say in a few words what you think about it, and also how it was in the race, especially Luki and Thomas.
I don't think I moved on the braking when you
He moved.
No, for me, honestly, in terms of racing, this was spectacular as it was. Of course, I didn't see what happened behind me, but I think the fights I had, especially with Ricciardo, this was all clean. I think the new regulation is good also, but also he never really got into the situation where he was going down my inside and I had to move on the braking, which I didn't. So for me, it's a good change of the regulations.
I fully agree. I think we had really great racing at the front, at least us 3. And I think it's a very sensible rule and can only improve our racing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we were all a bit surprised at Oschersleben when this rule came up, or when I heard it for the first time. It was a bit weird, but yeah, I think they realized that probably the racing standards are, or let's say, you can use it to your advantage in some situations, which can lead to other situations that are not good. So I think the rule change is positive for the racing itself, and gives clear rules. For us, it's important to understand what is allowed, what is not allowed, and then we are all, I think, capable enough to know what to do in certain situations if you want to make a move or if you want to defend yourself. But it needs to be clear, because the way the penalties have been given in the first part of the season have not been 100% clear. Some situations got penalized for some and not for others. So it's important that all the drivers of the grid stick together and to have a good conversation with the race director to have a clear picture of what is allowed and what not, and what they expect from us.
And one more for all 3 of you. Do you think that it was the right call to make a full course yellow and not a safety car after the turbulences in the middle of the race?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I don't know if the pit window was open or not at that stage, so probably that was the most fair call. It gave everyone the chance to have a pit stop without losing his race, like we had last year, often the situation. So in my opinion, it was the right call to put full course yellow, and as I said before, it was also important for safety.
Yeah, agree.
That's in the end why we have the full course yellow. for those kind of situations where you have to make equal chances for everybody in a chaotic race. And if they would have brought out a safety car, half of the field would have got a free pit stop and the other half would have completely killed the race.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? No? Then thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and maybe see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Muss das Klo?